At 80, many people expect Patti LaBelle to be living a loud, glamorous celebrity life. Spotlights, red carpets, and constant headlines. But the truth is far more surprising. Away from the stage where she earned the title Godmother of Soul, Patti LaBelle now spends much of her time in a quiet country home near Philadelphia, living a life that feels peaceful, grounded, and deeply personal. It's a side of her story that most fans rarely see. But long before the fame, before the standing ovations and platinum records, Patti was simply Patricia Louise Holt, a young girl growing up in Philadelphia with a voice that people around her quickly realized was something special. She was born May 24, 1944, into a working-class family. Her father, Henry Holt, worked on the railroad but also performed in clubs, while her mother, Bertha Holta, worked as a housemaid. Music and hard work were both part of daily life in that household. Patti grew up with 4 siblings, and like many kids in the neighborhood, church and school events were often the first places where she sang publicly. But her childhood wasn't always easy. When Patti was 12 years old, her parents divorced, a moment she later described as deeply painful. In interviews, LaBelle has spoken honestly about those years, explaining that singing became her emotional escape. As she once reflected, music was the place where I could forget everything else. Looking back, it's hard not to think those early struggles helped shape the passion people would later hear in her voice. Now here's where the real journey begins. In the early 1960s, Patti stepped into the music industry as the lead singer of a group called Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, alongside Cindy Birdsong, Sarah Dash, and Nona Hendrix. Songs like You'll Never Walk Alone and Danny Boy in 1964 brought them attention and loyal fans. Patti's voice, soaring and dramatic, quickly became the centerpiece of their performances. But success in the music industry is rarely a straight road, and the group soon ran into serious obstacles. In 1965, their label Cameo Parkway suddenly went bankrupt, leaving the group without a stable recording home. They later signed with Atlantic Records, but momentum stalled again when Cindy Birdsong left the group to join the Supremes. By 1970, the Bluebells had lost both their manager and their recording contract. For many groups, that might have been the end, but sometimes reinvention is the secret ingredient to survival. That reinvention came when British producer Vicky Wickham stepped in as their manager. She encouraged the group to transform their entire image, from their sound to their stage costumes. The Bluebells dropped part of their name and simply became LaBelle. And suddenly, everything changed. Instead of traditional soul music, LaBelle leaned into something bolder, a fusion of funk, rock, and psychedelic soul. Their futuristic outfits, theatrical performances, and socially conscious music made them stand out in ways audiences hadn't seen before. Then came 1974. That year, LaBelle released the album Nightbirds, which featured a song that would become a cultural phenomenon, Lady Marmalade. The track shot to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and sold more than 1 million copies. Suddenly, Patti LaBelle wasn't just a talented singer. She was the voice behind one of the biggest hits of the decade. The group even appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone in 1975, a rare honor that showed how influential they had become. Still, even huge success doesn't guarantee permanence. Creative differences eventually pulled the group in different directions, and by 1976, LaBelle had disbanded. For Patti, that moment could have been another career crossroads. Instead, it became the beginning of an entirely new chapter. She launched her solo career in 1977, and while the early albums built a loyal fan base, the real explosion came in 1984 when her songs New Attitude and Stir It Up appeared on the soundtrack of Beverly Hills Cop. Suddenly, Patti LaBelle was reaching a brand new generation of listeners. Then came 1986, arguably the biggest year of her career. Her album, Winner in You, topped the Billboard 200, selling over 2 million copies. The duet On My Own with Michael McDonald became a massive hit, holding the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for 3 weeks. From that point on, Patti LaBelle wasn't just successful, she was legendary. And remarkably, even into her 80s, Patti LaBelle hasn't slowed down. She continues releasing music and celebrating milestones in her career, including her 2024 project, 8065, marking 80 years of life and 65 years in music. For someone who spent decades performing on the biggest stages in the world, Patti LaBelle now lives a life that's surprisingly calm and private. Which brings us to a question many fans might not expect. Where does the godmother of soul actually call home today? Let's step inside her quiet country home near Philadelphia. House in Wynwood, Pennsylvania. Back in 1978, Patti and her then-husband Armstead Edwards purchased a charming house in Wynwood, Pennsylvania, just outside Philadelphia. At the time, the property cost about $115,000, which seems almost unbelievable today. Decades later, the home's value is estimated between $2 million and $3 million, a reflection of both the location and the character of the house itself. And the house definitely has character. Built in 1920, the property sits on about 1 acre of land and spans roughly 3,600 square feet. From the outside, it looks like the kind of home that quietly blends into its surroundings. Classic, elegant, and timeless rather than flashy. But once you step inside, the charm really begins to reveal itself. The first thing you notice is the sense of space. The first-floor ceilings rise nearly 3 to 3.6 meters high, creating a bright, open atmosphere that feels both grand and welcoming. Large, classic-style windows allow sunlight to pour into the rooms, offering peaceful views of the surrounding gardens. Now, if there's one place in the house that truly reflects Patti LaBelle's personality, it's the kitchen. Fans already know Patti isn't just a music icon. She's also famous for her cooking. Her cookbooks and food brand have become hugely popular, so it makes sense that her kitchen would be something special. Often described as a paradise kitchen, the space is equipped with professional-level appliances from brands like Sub-Zero, Viking, and Bosch. Upstairs, the master suite offers something a little more private. It includes a comfortable sitting area, a spacious dressing room, and a luxurious marble bathroom that feels more like a small spa than a traditional bathroom. But perhaps one of the most surprising parts of the house is downstairs. The basement has been thoughtfully redesigned into an entertainment space that feels almost like a private club. There's a home gym, a custom movie theater, a stylish bar, and even a wine cellar. It's the perfect setup for hosting friends or enjoying quiet evenings at home. A fully equipped bathroom and plenty of storage space complete the lower level. Behind the quiet country lifestyle is a remarkable career that has generated success for more than half a century. Let's now take a closer look at how Patti LaBelle built her fortune and where her income comes from today. Income and net worth. Today, Patti LaBelle's net worth is estimated to be close to $60 million. And interestingly, that fortune didn't come from just one success. The foundation of that wealth still comes from music. Over the years, Patti LaBelle has sold more than 50 million records worldwide, and her catalog continues generating income through streaming, radio play, and film licensing. Classic songs like Lady Marmalade, On My Own, and New Attitude remain staples across playlists and soundtracks. These timeless tracks continue to produce steady royalty income every year. A particularly significant moment came in October 2025, when Patti LaBelle partnered with Primary Wave to manage her entire music catalog. The deal included 18 studio albums, 3 live albums, 14 compilation albums, and 47 singles. While the exact financial terms were never publicly disclosed, similar agreements in the industry suggest the partnership could be valued at least $50 million, and possibly closer to $100 million. Whether through upfront payments or long-term royalties, that agreement alone dramatically strengthened the financial value of her catalog. But here's where Patti LaBelle's story becomes especially interesting, because one of her most successful ventures didn't come from music at all. In 2008, she launched her food brand Patti's Good Life which includes products like sweet potato pies, cheesecakes, and desserts inspired by her own recipes. What started as a simple idea turned into a massive retail success after her sweet potato pie famously went viral around 2015, selling out across major stores. Today, the products are available through retailers like Walmart and Target. The numbers behind the brand are impressive. Reports suggest the company generates roughly $20 million in annual revenue, with total gross sales once reaching nearly $200 million per year, including around $85 million in sales through Walmart alone at its peak. But perhaps the most meaningful part of Patti LaBelle's success isn't just how she earned her wealth. It's how she has chosen to use her influence and platform to support others. Philanthropy. Over the years, she has consistently advocated for greater access to education, healthcare, housing, employment opportunities, and equal justice for communities in need. Her commitment to social causes has led her to serve on several national boards, where she has actively supported awareness campaigns related to major health challenges such as diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, and HIV/AIDS. One of her most notable efforts came in 1987, when Patti LaBelle became a spokesperson for the National Minority AIDS Council. During a time when conversations about AIDS were often surrounded by fear and stigma, Patti used her platform to encourage education, compassion, and access to treatment. She also helped promote the Live Long Sugar campaign, which encouraged people of color to seek testing and medical support. In addition, Patti has been a vocal supporter of the LGBT community, speaking openly about acceptance and equality. She has performed at numerous Pride events and used interviews and public appearances to promote understanding and respect. For Patti, these causes have never been about publicity. They have always been about humanity. When you look at Patti LaBelle's journey, it becomes clear that her influence goes far beyond music. She has used her fame to uplift others, speak for communities that needed support, and remind people that kindness and courage can travel just as far as a great song. Honestly, hearing about these efforts has made me admire her even more. What do you think about the beautiful and meaningful actions Patti LaBelle has taken to help others? So beyond the music, the activism, and the public appearances, what is Patti LaBelle's personal life really like today? Let's take a closer look. Personal life. At 81 years old, the legendary singer remains single and seems perfectly comfortable with that chapter of her life. Since her divorce more than 2 decades ago, no long-term relationship has been publicly confirmed. From time to time, rumors have surfaced, one involving a drummer named Eric Seitz, but none of those stories have ever been verified. Her most significant relationship was with Armstead Edwards, a teacher and longtime friend who eventually became her manager. The two married on July 23, 1969, beginning a partnership that lasted more than 3 decades. Interestingly, Patti has often joked in interviews that although Edwards proposed several times, she was the one who finally decided when the marriage would actually happen. They separated around 2000 and officially finalized their divorce in 2003, ending their relationship on respectful terms. Perhaps the most important part of Patti LaBelle's personal life today, however, is her family. She is the proud mother of 5 children, 1 biological son and 4 children she adopted or raised through fostering. Over the years, she has often said that family is what keeps her grounded despite decades of fame. And then there's another passion that many fans now associate with Patti just as much as her voice: cooking. Anyone who has watched her interviews knows that Patti lights up when talking about food. Cooking traditional Southern dishes has always been one of her favorite ways to relax. She enjoys experimenting in the kitchen, hosting family dinners, and sharing recipes that have been passed down through generations. That passion eventually led to her wildly successful food brand Patti's Good Life, known for products like sweet potato pies, macaroni and cheese, and desserts that became huge sellers across American grocery stores. And when you look back at Patti LaBelle's journey, It's hard not to admire the strength, talent, and resilience that shaped her life. Thank you for spending time with us today and for always supporting the channel. Now we'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts about Patti LaBelle and her incredible journey? Share your opinion in the comments below.